Good afternoon to everybody joining the webinar. Welcome to our Open Office Hour series on Solupay. Solupay is a partner of NetSuite and also a power of Crowe. My name is Alejandro Alvarez, and I'm a solution consultant with our Crowe practice, with our Crowe NetSuite practice. And we'll welcome again to the webinar. I want to hand it over to Alison Sobel. She's from VersaPay, and she'll give us all the content of the webinar. We are going to unmute the participants. So when we get to the Q&A session, please feel free to either use the Q&A box or your voice to answer any questions. In the meantime, also please mute yourself so that we can concentrate on Alison's presentation. Thank you very much, and Alison, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. Appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for joining. Bridget, since there's not too many attendees on the meeting, I'm going to really go ahead and work directly with you to understand what some of your needs are, and I can go through the full presentation and go over the different features and functions. Bridget, do you want to tell me a little bit about your business, how you guys take payments today?
Well, actually, right now we're already a merchant with Solupay. However, you administer through our third-party collection platform, Anytime Collect with Lockstep.
Okay.
So I was curious about this presentation to see how it may integrate with NetSuite directly, because right now we just kind of web hooking back, and I'm finding some glitches. So I'd like to see how it's going to interact directly.
Perfect. All right. So Solupay, we are built for NetSuite payment provider. Solupay will function as the processor and the gateway, so we're all in one solution. So if you have a funding question, billing question, I don't know how to run this transaction question, you're going to come to Solupay for all of those instances. Some things that you guys might want to know about Solupay. We've been in business since 2005. Or I'm sorry, 2005. I've been with Solupay for a little over 15 years, so definitely not new to the industry or payments, and really understand the unique needs that people have. Right now, between Canada and US, we have 6 offices. We're doing over $10 million in invoices a year with over $12 billion in annual payments, and we are just hired our 200th employee, so we are rapidly growing. Solupay is an Omni partner, which means we can do everything NetSuite. We don't have any limitations to where we can work within the NetSuite infrastructure. So if you have ERP, obviously your core NetSuite, we can do it. If you have web payments, whether it's using a NetSuite web payment shopping cart such as SC, SCA, Site Builder, we can do it. If you have a third-party cart such as Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, we could do that as well. And we also have the ability to do retail payments in a face-to-face environment, either utilizing NetSuite's point of sale, which is SCIS, SuiteCommerce in-store, NSPOS, or taking retail payments directly in NetSuite. When we built our bundle, there were a couple of items that we are hyper-focused on. We want to help eliminate fraud. If that's something that's a pain point, we do have paid-for solutions along with some solutions embedded in our NetSuite bundle. Our goal is to also help reduce manual processes, lower the overall cost of processing, and help drive up incremental sales. So let me get into NetSuite now and show you some of the different features and functions of our built for NetSuite solution. I'm logging here into NetSuite, and you're going to notice NetSuite is, my instance may be a little different than what you've seen. That's completely okay. NetSuite is a very customizable solution, so my instance may be a little different than what you see on a typical basis. The first thing I'm going to do here is go ahead and create an invoice. We can take invoice payments many ways in NetSuite. We also have the ability to send a link with a Pay Now button. In addition to invoices, we could take sales orders, cash sales, deposits. So we can integrate to the whole entire ecosystem and take any type of transactions that you guys do today. If you guys have workflows in place or customizations, we're going to also be able to integrate to those instances. So whatever your system is set up like, we can go ahead and integrate to the way you run cards or want to run cards. So the first thing, because one thing that we see most often are invoice payments. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do an invoice. So I'm going to go ahead here and create my invoice. You can pull up your existing customer, add them if they're new. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my existing customer. And you're going to fill out your required fields, which will be different than mine, and that's completely okay. And then you could add the product or services that that customer is buying. And then we're going to go ahead and hit save. This is going to go ahead and create the invoice for us. We can accept a payment at this time, but typically when somebody's creating an invoice, you're not accepting payment at creation. So let's go through that full flow. So I'm going to go back on my home screen, whatever the scenario is, whether the customer calls in, you get an email, and they say, can I pay my invoice? Or you may have a workflow in place to automatically trigger this. In this case, let's use the scenario. Customer calls in and they want to make a payment. Can I make a payment on my account? Of course you can. So you're going to go ahead and pull up that customer invoice. I'm sorry, that customer record, which will allow us to see all of their invoices. We do have the ability to accept credit card and ACH. The only place that we do not take ACH is on pre-authorizations because you cannot pre-authorize ACH payments. Other than that, we can accept both forms of payment. And here we are on our customer record and we want to accept a payment. Again, this will pull all of our open invoices and we can choose to pay by credit card or bank account. We're going to go to our payment method. In this particular instance, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to pick the invoice that we're going to pay. So here's our invoices. We just have one open. I'm going to check the box. You can partially pay by putting the amount that you want to pay here. And now I'm going to go to my payment method. This particular customer has a default card on file. You can have as many cards on file or bank accounts on file as you want. And if you need to add a new form of payment, you could just do this plus sign. You could enter the data that's needed here. If you need to put a note on this form of payment, you can, or make it the default form of payment. You can do that as well. Very similar to how our card populated here automatically. That would be our default form of payment. We have charge credit card. That box is going to automatically be checked for you so we can talk to the issuing bank. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. The system's always going to say, are you sure you want to charge this? Yes, I'm sure. And then we're going to get a red or green banner. We always want green. Green means we're good to go. A red banner means there's some sort of decline or issue with that payment. So here we have our green banner. If we look at our payment method, we have our auth code, our reference number, and the operation is successful. Had there been a decline, it's going to say insufficient funds, bad card number, expired card, so on and so forth. So we know how to interact with the customer because insufficient funds will be different than expired card. Does anybody have any questions on this so far?
Yeah, this is Bridget. I actually do. Are the payments only user initiated or can the customer select it? So you said they can send it with a link at that point, the customer be able to control their payment. And then the second,
they will.
Is when the confirmation comes in, do you see an authorization code? Or are you able
to
print a receipt?
Yep, the authorization code will be right here. Oops.
Okay. So that pops
so that's
up.
going to come right in on the form.
Are you able to print a receipt?
Yeah. So you'll hover over your actions. You can make a copy, and then here's the little print icon.
Okay, so you would say make a copy of the payment in lieu of an actual.
Or you could just print from here.
Okay.
So it depends what record you can print off of that record.
Okay.
And it shows the payment method. And obviously your forms are customizable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, of course. So let me show you the e-invoice, the feature that you're talking about. And I'm going to use Alejandro as my guinea pig. So we're going to pretend like Alejandro is my customer. So what I'm going to do here, very similar. I'm going to do sale. I'm going to enter an order. I'm going to create an invoice. Again, very similar to what we did previously. We're going to pull up our existing customer, add them if they're new, and fill out all of our required fields. Now we're going to add the service or products that our customer is buying. And we're just creating the invoice. The big difference now is we're going to save an email. This is going to go to whomever I have in the communication tab, which I should have changed to Alejandro, but I'll forward this to him. In this case, this is going to come to my email address. These will all be tokenized transactions. Do you know what that means?
No.
So a tokenized transaction is an extra layer of security. It's going to take that sensitive data, whether it's a credit card or a bank account, and turn it into a combination of numbers. The only thing that will be real about that data are the last 4 digits to ensure that you are charging or refunding a proper account if that needs to take place. So it's an extra layer of security. Now, this is similar to what your customers are going to see. It's obviously going to be customized to you guys with your logo, your information, not mine. This Pay Now button can be added to single invoices, multiple invoices, which we call e-statement, or deposits. The only place we do not add this is sales order to cash sale. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to forward this to Alejandro, and I'm going to let Alejandro share his computer so you see what the customer experience is like. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And if Alejandro, you don't mind showing, that would be fantastic.
Yes, I am going to wait for that email to come in, and then I'll start sharing my screen.
Perfect.
Okay, I got the email. Let me share my screen now. Where's my email here? Here it is.
So this is similar, again, to what your customer is going to see, and they'll be able to click the bottom right Pay Now button. This will take you to a page where you can enter the payment. You do have the customer, this is customer facing. The customer does have the ability to choose to pay by credit card or bank account. And if you ever want a surcharge, that is something that we can automate and fully support. So if you choose where the payment method is credit card and you do the drop-down box, you can pick and choose personal bank account, business bank account, or credit card, depending on whichever form of payment that you offer and what the customer wants to pay. So if you choose credit card, we can go ahead and put the card number of 4 followed by 15 ones. If you could do a future expiration date, please, just the year needs to be changed. 3-digit code will be 999. And then anything for the billing, because this is just a dev environment, so it will accept anything. And then just please hit submit. And this is going to tell the customer, hey, this could take up to 1 minute to process. What we want is a thank you message. And if there's some sort of error or issue, it's going to throw that error at us. It's going to tell us that there's a problem with the payment. So this is exactly what we want to see. Thank you for your payment. And now I'll show you what happens to NetSuite.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
Back at the top of that, there was an admin fee? Or like
That was a surcharge fee.
A surcharge.
Yeah, so that is something, it is something we support. We get a lot of questions around it, so we do have the ability to surcharge your clients automatically via the e-invoice feature.
Right, can you overwrite that?
Oh yeah, that's not on everybody's. That's just to show you that we do support it if you want it.
Okay, thank you.
So that's not necessarily going to be on yours. That's just to show you, hey, if you want it, we can do it. So theoretically, I'm not going to be on this page, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh my screen. And we're going to see that this invoice from waiting to be paid is now paid in full. You did not have to get anything from the customer. They did it on their own. If we look at our related records, if we look at the, hyperlink here. We look at our payment method. We have our auth code, our reference number. The operation was successful, and it was done via e-invoice. So you could see how payments are coming in. Again, if you had a decline, it's going to tell us why something was declined. And I know you asked also about, Bridget, authorization code. You can find authorization code right here, but you could also find it right on this view screen. Again, light blue hyperlink, another place where you could see more data on that payment, and another place where you could see that authorization code.
Okay, that's good. So I like that it creates the payment record. Does it, but it goes in live time. Now, typically with my company, we post when the funds settle in our bank account, which usually.
Yep, so that's going to be 100.
So does this sit in undeposited funds on the deposit screen?
Yep, so that's going to be, ours is just so it's going to be not deposited, waiting to be reconciled. Yep, so it's going to go to the transaction, bank, make deposit screen, and it's going to be waiting here to be reconciled until you reconcile that transaction.
Okay.
And different instances have different ways that they want to do it. So yeah, so not a problem. We'll come, oh, my date range is wrong here, but it will come to the make deposit screen, yes. If that's how your account is configured, we'll integrate to your current configuration. Some people go straight to deposit, others don't. It's however you run your business. We'll do it however you guys want.
Okay, if the customer chooses to make a credit card payment, can they use that link to be brought to, if they want to pay multiple invoices?
100%. Yep, so
Need
instead of doing an invoice, we're going to do a statement. That statement is going to come over with multiple invoices, and it will allow them to pick and choose which invoices they want to pay. It's going to come over as a PDF.
Okay. That was the other question too. When you emailed the link, email the invoice and it contains the link. So when Alejandro opened up his email, the email itself, the body of that was the invoice. Although the link was, you know, the pictures weren't downloaded, so they wouldn't see that button necessarily up front. Right now, we deliver our invoices as a PDF with, you know, a simple thank you message. And if you have any questions, contact.
Yep, we can 100% do it as a PDF instead.
Would the payment button be on the body of the email still, or would it be driven into the PDF?
It would be in the PDF.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so that you have a lot of room to choose how you want that to be presented to your customer, 100%.
Okay, so there's a lot of customization possibilities.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, thank you.
And yeah, of course. Now, are there other types of flows, Bridget, that you guys do today? Other types of flows that you would like to see, like deposits, pre-authorizations?
No, not at this time. Our biggest struggle right now is trying to get adoption by our customers, our customer base and who they are. Kind of old school, sometimes even handwritten checks. They're long-term care facilities.
Okay.
They typically send by check. So I'm just trying to get them to adopt and kind of self-serve and try to migrate them over to either EFT or credit card payments.
Yeah, it definitely is a little bit hard, especially if you're working with people a little bit more old school to really adopt the newer technology and the newer way of doing things for sure.
Yeah. That's kind of our pain point. So if do you have additional marketing tools that you'd be able to help us with? If
oh gosh.
Launch this?
I don't know, like facing your customer more. We have more marketing tools that would be facing our clients, like, hey, look what we have now. Not really facing your customers.
I see. Okay.
If you guys put something together though and want feedback, we can definitely do that.
Right. Like if you have like a demo video or something of that nature where we can come
of the customer experience,
the verbiage and have marketing say, hey, did you know about this? And then maybe have a link of a demo of how it would work for them.
Yeah. I could see if we have demos of what I just showed you. It's more though, again, like inside NetSuite, what the full flow is. I'm sure or it could probably be edited, or somebody here could do a video of that. I would think. What company are you with, Bridget?
I'm with Cantata Health.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Cantata Health.
Okay. Yeah, let me reach out to find out who you work with internally and then have them reach out to you.
Okay.
About getting that video and things of that nature. So Alejandro, what type of transactions would else you like me to go through? Should I go through sales order to cash sale, deposits? What do you think is going to be best here?
I think if we could do both sales order to cash, and then if we have time, do a deposit as well, because deposits are something that like a lot of clients use, but they want to create a deposit before a sales order is issued or an invoice is issued. So both would be good.
Perfect. All right, so the next thing I'm going to go through is the sales order to cash sale flow. This flow is typically what's going to happen when you take an order off of a website. This is also going to happen if you want to pre-authorize a card to make sure the funds are available. We do have the ability to do minimal author, $0 authorizations if you just want to verify the card is good. But again, this is going to be pre-authorizing the card, so holding the funds for 30 days and then capturing it upon fulfillment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a transaction sale. I'm going to go ahead and enter an order. This is going to default sales order to cash sale, and to not be confused with somebody handing you cash, but it means they've taken the product, you're getting the money, everybody is happy. So again, we're going to pull up our existing customer, add them if they're new. I'm going to go ahead and use my existing customer. Oh, not the right customer. You're going to fill out your required fields, which could be different than mine. Again, that's completely okay. And you're going to add the products that that customer is buying. A little different than before, we're not going to save now. We're going to go to billing first because we're pre-authorizing this card. We want to make sure that these monies are available, that open to buy limit is going to be there. So I'm going to check. This box will normally be default checked. I just checked it because it wasn't, but in normal instances, this will be defaulted for you. Again, card on file populated. They can have as many forms of payment on file as they would like, and we're going to hit save. We are going to get our red or green banner. We want a green banner, which means that transaction is approved. A red banner means there's some sort of decline. We look at our billing. We have an authorization. Again, this is on hold for you for 30 days. These funds are up to 30 days. And now we're going to fulfill. We're going to ship this out. We can partially fulfill. That original sales order will stay open until everything has been committed. At this point, I'm going to go right to ship. This is literally me clicking blue buttons. And again, this could be automated for your instance. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So we're pick, packing, shipping, and fulfilling. And now we're going to bill this. That means we're ready to capture those funds. We want to take those monies. We do fund in 24 hours. We fund daily, bill monthly, so anything you do today, you will see in your bank account tomorrow, and then the fees for December's volume will come out January 2nd. Anything you do in January is going to be February 2nd. If the 2nd is a weekend, it's going to be the first business day, so it is always like clockwork. Fund daily, bill monthly. And so now we're going to save, which is going to allow us to bill that customer or capture those funds. Are you sure you want to capture this? I'm sure. And again, we're going to get our red or green banner. We always want a green banner. Perfect. We look at our billing. We now see our cash sale, which is a sale, and we have captured those funds. We will see them in our account the following day. Next transaction I'm going to do is a deposit. If somebody wants to take a deposit, we're going to do a transaction, sale, and we're going to create an invoice. I'm sorry, we're going to create a sales order to invoice. Everything in NetSuite is going to be driven by forms. So mine defaults to a cash sale, so I'm going to change mine to an invoice. Your forms may default to whatever form it needs. I use cash sale, but a sales order to invoice most often, or I'm sorry, invoice to cash sale most often, so that's defaulting on my end, where yours may default to a different form. And again, same steps as before, pull up our customer, define our fields, and add the product that that customer is buying. And now we're going to save. This feature also gives us the ability to send that Pay Now button if you'd like. We can add that to deposits as well if you would like to do that. Now we have a new button that we didn't have on our previous screens, which is Create Deposit. So this is that new button. And we're going to create a deposit. So this is essentially taking prepayment or monies before anything is fulfilled. Right now it's requiring 100% down. We could leave this box open if you want to be able to change that dollar amount, or if you require a specific amount every time, 50%, 25%, we could lock that box so it automatically calculates the actual percentage you want to take. In this case, let's say we want to take 100% down. We're going to leave our box as is. Again, our card data populated on its own because we have a default card on file, and we're going to hit save. And we're going to get our red or green banner. We want a green banner. And if we look at our payment method, we have our operation was successful, our auth code, our reference number, and we'll see these funds in our bank account the following day. That's how we can do a deposit. Any questions on any of that? Perfect. So Alejandro, on your end, is there any other types of transactions or flows that you would like me to go through?
No, I don't know if there's any, unless there's any flow that you cover for, if there's any sort of return to the credit card, any sort of credit memo that gets issued to a client. I don't know if that's something that we can cover, but that would be the only one that I could think of.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So depending on the type of transactions, going to depend on the way the refund works. So I'm going to go home here, go to my home screen, and everybody's home screen may be a little different. That's okay. So anything that is a cash sale, super easy. You're going to pull up that cash sale. Again, does not mean they handed you cash, but you took the money, they took the product. And we're just going to click refund. You don't need to get the card number again. It's already going to know that card number. And if we want to do a full refund, we just leave it. In this case, let's do a partial refund. I'm going to change the amount to what I want to refund on that line item. I'm going to hit OK. The system is going to tell you this line is not equal to the price. Is this okay? Yeah, that's okay. So somebody had a coupon, or maybe the box came damaged, and you said, all right, we'll give you a $75 credit. Perfect. So we have the amount that we want to refund. Our billing, we don't have to do anything again. It's already pulled all of the data over. All we do is hit save. The system, again, is going to say, are you sure you want to do a refund? Yes, we want to refund $75. Perfect. And again, oh, I didn't put in our location. And then we'll just hit save. Are we sure we want a refund again? We are sure. And now it should go through this time since I did fill out all of my required fields. Perfect. Now, if we look at our billing tab, we have our sale and our refund. Everything links together. And we can see that it was a $75 refund. Next is if you want to refund an invoice. We have to do a credit memo, and we're going to refund against the credit memo. So we're going to pull up the payment that it ties to. We're going to want to grab this PN reference number. This PN reference number looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but it actually has a lot of important data, such as the cardholder number. A big type of fraud we see is that you may charge credit card 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the customer calls in and says, can I have a refund on my card 5, 6, 7? And in good faith, you're going to go ahead and refund that. They call their issuing bank and say, hey, I never got a refund for this sale. Oh, yeah, you did. Remember, we refund card 5, 6, 7. Oh, no, doesn't tie to it. There is no proof to the issuing bank that those two refunds correlate. So you're going to go ahead and, unfortunately, in that instance, the chargeback would not go in your favor. So it is very important to always refund the original form of payment. Using this PN reference number is going to go ahead and ensure that that's what's happening. So here we're going to go to the Apply tab. We're going to open this in a new tab. Oh, I didn't pull up the invoice. Sorry about that. Where's my tab go here? What did my...
Yeah, it seems we lost Allison's audio, so she's calling back in. So she'll be right back. Yeah,
Okay.
I was wondering about the silence as well, but it's she just texted me. So
I thought it was me. Alejandro, will you be posting this video on your YouTube channel?
yes, I will. I'll be doing some editing, but yes, after I do the editing, yes, I'll be definitely posting it.
That'll be good. I want to share that with my controller and VP of Finance.
Sure, of course. Yeah, you
Able
should.
to attend.
I'll probably be up by the end of the weekend.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me again?
There you are.
Sorry about that. I don't know, whatever. I'm back. Sorry about that. So let me just start over so I can see. We're going to be home, so we're going to be doing a credit memo. So again, the first flow that you saw was off of a cash sales order. Anything off of an invoice is going to be a little bit different because we're going to want to go ahead and do a credit memo and then a credit memo off of, a refund off of that credit memo. So again, I'm on my home screen. You could also search for that payment record here, but I'm going to just use a recent record. So we're going to pull up our payment. We're going to go ahead and grab that reference number. We're going to go to the Apply tab, and we're going to open the invoice. We're going to click Credit, which is going to allow us to create a credit memo. We're going to go ahead and choose what we're crediting back. In this case, we're going to go ahead and credit the whole entire line item. So we're going to hit Save. And now we're going to go ahead from that credit memo, issue a refund. On the Apply tab, it's already checking the box of what we want to chart or refund back. We're going to go to the refund method. We're going to paste our reference number here so everything links together. The card is already in here, but it's very important to add that reference number so it paints a very accurate picture of what's transposed or transpired with this transaction, and we'll hit Save. And it's going to say, are you sure you want a refund? Yep, I'm sure.
I have a quick question about that process.
Of course.
Our company structure for security is set up a separation of duties where AR on my side might create the credit memo. However, it back is issued by the accounts payable. You still be able to refund if you.
Of course. So what you'll do, so everything in NetSuite, as you know, is a permissions basis.
Right.
So what you'll be able to do, because that credit memo is still going to be there. So we still created that credit memo, but nothing's happened to it yet. So then as long as your AR team has visibility to that, they'll be able to go ahead and automatically refund against that credit memo that another team created.
Okay.
So not a problem at all.
Thank you.
And sorry about that. I don't know, my phone loves me, I guess. So Alejandro, are there other types of flows that you would like me to go through?
Can't think of any at this point. Awesome. I think
All right,
we've covered
perfect.
the main ones unless, Bridget has any additional questions.
None? So awesome. Alejandro, if your team has any other questions, if you have any clients that would like to see this, obviously our demo will be more customized towards what their needs are. And there's a lot more functionality we have than just this, but this is covering a lot of the basics. Anytime a customer is interested in vetting Solupay, we will do a very detailed side-by-side analysis that will break down to the penny what a monthly and annual savings will look like. Many times we are able to reduce the overall cost of processing. So if anybody has interest, I would definitely love the opportunity to go through a demo and what that cost analysis looks like. Other than that, that's everything on my end.
Perfect.
I did have another thought about PCI compliance.
Sure.
And the whole saving the credit card information record on file. Is that really in compliance?
It is in compliance.
And the securities.
So Solupay and NetSuite both are level 1 PCI facilities, which means data is never touching your servers. This data is stored in NetSuite in the cloud. We also support tokenization. Being that we do support that tokenization, if anybody were to ever get their hands on that sensitive data, there's absolutely nothing they can do with it.
Okay. And the other thing I had, are you able to set up limits? I don't want a customer going in and paying a $50,000 invoice with their credit card because that incurs high fees for us. So we typically
Good question. Yes.
like a $10,000 limit. So are we able to set those up, or is that
You can.
customer profile?
No, it's going to actually be in the gateway, which is what runs in the back end of NetSuite. So that's what we call a velocity filter. And yes, that's something that can be set in the background of NetSuite. It's going to apply to every customer, though. If you do have an exception, you'll have to go into the gateway, turn that filter off very quickly, run that transaction, and turn it back on. But yes, 100% we can limit what your system will accept. Let's say that limit is $10,000 and somebody does a transaction for $10,001, it will throw an error code saying that you can't process this dollar amount.
Okay. And then the fees, I assume, would be comparable based on the existing relationship I already have set up with you guys.
Exactly.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Yeah. Do you know by chance who you work with, Bridget?
Brandon?
I can figure it out. Don't worry about it. Brandon? Okay, yeah, very possible.
Brandon?
Yeah, yep, that's it. Okay, so I can have him reach back out to you for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Awesome. Well, Alejandro, I really appreciate you coordinating. Bridget, thank you for joining. And if anybody needs anything from my end, please don't hesitate to ask.
Perfect. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Bridget, for attending, and we'll see you next time.
All right.